Three films premiering pretty much 1 week after the other on Paramount Plus. Let's talk about Orphan, First Kill, Secret Headquarters, and Honor Society. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to spoiler-free reviews for three recent films on Paramount Plus. I decided to kind of lump these all in together because Paramount Plus has only released like a handful of movies the entire year, and then for whatever reason, towards the end of summer here, they're just banging them out almost 1 week after the other. It makes sense. There's not a lot of movies going into theaters right now, but it's just interesting. They've really sparsed them out the rest of the year, and then all of a sudden here, boom, boom, boom. So I figured we'll do them all at once, and we'll go sort of in order from most recent to the one that came out at the very end of July, which is Honor Society. So first up, we're going to talk about Orphan, First Kill. Now, this one did also go to theaters briefly, but I think most people saw it on Paramount Plus. It had a very limited theater release. But this is a part of that Orphan lineage, the horror movie from years ago. And I will say it's almost impossible to talk about the plot of this movie and to review this movie without sort of giving you the twist of the first Orphan. So if you've not seen that movie, I would say go ahead and fast forward to my next review, which will be Secret Headquarters, because I'm going to get spoilery with that movie. I'm not going to spoil anything really that happens in First Kill. But yeah, in that movie, basically, this gal who appears to be like 9 or 10 years old, but is really due to a disease in her, I think, early 30s or something like that. And that's sort of the big twist of the movie. She was an adult all the time and, trying to get with the dad. So here, this is actually a prequel, but the same woman now, who is Isabel Fuhrman, portrays the main character. And so she is now the actress in her mid-20s. And she is, I guess, well, she's 31 in this movie. So if this is a prequel, I guess she was in her mid-30s then in the second movie, or in the original movie, I should say. But the actress at the time was only like 16, so she definitely looked a little bit younger. And we'll see how that sort of plays into the schematics of this movie. But she plays Esther Albright, or is really going by Esther Albright. Her name is Lena Clammer, as it was in the first movie. But here we have a missing child story. Julia Stiles and Matthew Finland play this couple that lost their baby, missing child, presumed dead, all that sort of thing. And then they find this girl who I guess bears a striking resemblance to their daughter or something. And we go from there. And there's, a few twists in here, perhaps, that are not expected as well, sort of putting the orphan stamp on things. But she would be older, so she's not really portraying a 9-year-old like in the first movie. I think she's portraying about 13 because she's been missing for several years. But all right, so look, this, I think, was always going to be a silly movie. Once you know that, there's a prequel to the Orphan movie, if you've seen Orphan and you know the twist, it's like, how are they going to even do that, especially with the same actress, because she looks clearly older now. She's, like I said, in her mid-20s. She looks definitely not like a little kid anymore. They gave her the pigtails and stuff, and okay. But the producers made the conscious decision to not do sort of the de-aging stuff that they were doing with De Niro and a lot of other people in these big budget movies. They decide, and maybe it was budgetary as well, but they decided, no, let's actually lean into the campiness of this whole thing. Let's lean into the silliness of this film. And they do have a few body doubles that I don't think necessarily work out so well, but I assume the body doubles actually are, 10 to 12-year-old kids, whatever. But anything, with her face or anything up close, it's her, all right. It was Isabel Fuhrman. But the good thing about this is the producers and the writers and the directors all, I think, realize that the camp is the way to go here. The silliness is the way to go. And if you go into it with that mindset of, okay, this is ridiculous that anybody would think this gal is a 12 or 13-year-old girl, let alone their missing child, unless she really looked exactly like her or whatever. So Yeah. So as the movie goes on, it gets sillier and campier and sillier. And I think that was definitely the way to go. So, look, at the end of the day, this gal, I don't think she's done anything else. I mean, she probably has some credits to her name, but other than the Orphan now franchise, I don't know what else she's done. Julia Stiles is always pleasant to see. We love her. And she is sort of, acting the hell out of this silly role. Everything about this movie is rather silly, but it doesn't start out that way. Like when it first started at the mental institution that she's staying at, they're sort of holding her for, I think not only the disease so they could study it, but the psychiatric stuff, because she's obviously a little bit off, I would say, if you've seen these movies. So she, that first scene is like, I was like, all right, she clearly doesn't look like a kid anymore, but where is this going? What are they going to do with this, since this is a prequel now? And the more we get into the story, the more we get into the plot, it gets sillier and sillier, and I absolutely think that was the way to go for this movie. So in the end, is this a good movie? No, probably not. But did they know that going into it and lean into it? I think so. I think that is done on purpose. And was it fun to watch? Absolutely. I had a really good time watching this movie, as silly as it is. I leave Orphan First Kill with a B. If you love that campy horror, this might be the best one of the year for you. All right, next we're going to talk about Secret Headquarters. This features Owen Wilson and also the little kid that was Ryan Reynolds as a... or how do they do that in the Adam Project? Ryan Reynolds as a kid. That's what it was. So he plays that also in the Adam Project. Walker Scobell is his name. And he is a cute little actor. He was so funny in Adam Project. He's pretty good here. The problem with this movie is that it's not very good. So it's not his fault. But essentially, he is a kid who has this father, Owen Wilson, who is, for better or worse, or more or less, I guess I should say, a deadbeat dad. He shows up every so often, but he's always got to run off to work. He's always got to do this. Oh, sorry, buddy, watch TV for the rest of the afternoon. I can't be with you. I got to go do something. So he starts to suspect that his father may be a superhero, and that's why he doesn't see him, because he discovers this big headquarters, secret headquarters, in the basement of the house. And so he invites his friends over, and they start, fiddling with the toys and looking at things and doing all that sort of stuff. So this movie could have been actually really fun, really good. It could have been like a Spy Kids type thing. But it turns out to be very, very bland. First of all, a lot of it doesn't make any sense. I'll say that right now. And unlike Orphan First Kill, that maybe doesn't make sense either, I think we're supposed to take this very seriously and like this is actually happening. Look, it's a superhero movie, so how serious do we need to take it? I don't know. But just even within the structure of the story and the structure of these characters, a lot of things just don't make sense. And also, Owen Wilson is benched for about the first half or more of the movie. He's in it for a little bit at the beginning, and then when he leaves the kid alone, then the next 40 minutes is all about the kids and figuring out what to do, with all these cool gadgets and whatever. Michael Pena, Jesse Williams, and Charles Melton, and a few others as well, play sort of the villains of the movie, trying to gain access to some of the stuff in the secret headquarters. So they come and, try to destroy the kids and stuff. So the CGI is not good. At one point, Owen Wilson is seen in his superhero suit, and it's literally just Iron Man. They just copied the way the camera is on Robert Downey Jr.'s face and the way that the screen is in his suit. It's just a carbon copy of that. Now, was that tongue-in-cheek? Is that what they were going for? I don't know, but it didn't seem like it to me. It seemed like, this was supposed to be an authentic movie and not like a parody of anything. So I have to take points off for that because it was a blatant ripoff. And then, yeah, like I said, the CGI... not very good. Owen Wilson, look, I go back and forth on him. Sometimes I think he's funny. Sometimes I think he could use some help. Like Night at the Museum, I think he's very funny in. he could do dramatic as well too, of course, like Marley and Me. But you know, Loki, he's sort of a mix there of action and comedy. And that's kind of where we are here. More family friendly, I think, probably than Loki a little bit. But Owen Wilson is benched for most of this movie. Like, why have this huge comedy asset? Like, the great thing about the Adam Project is that Ryan Reynolds and this kid Scobell were, you know, in almost every scene they were together and they were riffing and they were doing bits. Here, he's fine as an actor, but his friends, the kids that play his friends, are like, they're like Disney Channel actors that just came off the freaking, you know, set of overacting. And like, it could have been a really good movie, and it is really bad, like the opposite. You know, great premise. You know, the kid finds a secret laboratory and cool gadgets, and okay, then the enemy is after him. On paper, it sounds great, and then in execution, they just miss the mark about every single turn. Are there a few lines that were amusing? Yes. I think there's, you know, Owen Wilson certainly has a few, but again, he doesn't show up till almost, you know, half hour before the movie ends. But he has some good lines, and the kid has picked up on some of his snark as well, just like he did in Ryan Reynolds' movie, The Adam Project. So, like, is he doing anything different? No, but all right, he's a kid actor. We'll let him go for that. But I just wish it came together better, because there's so much about it that does not work. So I'm going to leave Secret Headquarters with a D+. All right, and then we will end with the one that came out first, but it's also saving the best for last. Honor Society is a coming-of-age comedy film starring Angourie Rice, who you might know from this great movie called The Nice Guys, but she also has been in the recent Spider-Man trilogy as well. I forget the character name, but she's like Ned's girlfriend. And then the other main star of this is Gaten Mazzarato, who is the kid in Stranger Things, that, you know, looks young. He's got the weird teeth. And they sort of play into that here because he's got braces and he's a nerd and all this kind of stuff. So, but this movie basically features this very bright woman who has ambitions to go to Harvard, but the guidance counselor, you know, feels confident that he can only suggest one person for Harvard. So it's her against 3 other people. So she has to figure out who those people are, which she kind of knows right away, and then kind of undermine them or get into their heads a little bit. And with that, you know, try to get higher grades on the test, because she's going to use her sex appeal to, you know, appeal to him, and she's going to talk to this other gal who is very mousy and shy, but she wrote a play. So she's like, oh, let's put on this gal's play, you know, for the drama club, giving her something to do to not worry about the test, and it goes on like that. I could liken this movie to, certainly there's a lot of election shades here, because you do have, right from the start in election, there's an inappropriate teacher-student relationship. You do have one of those here with the guidance counselor, played by Christopher Mintz-Plasse. So there's definitely shades of that. She's a Tracy Flick type for sure, which I love that movie, Election. But there are also shades of Mean Girls, probably Clueless. I haven't seen it in a long time. All of the John Hughes sort of Molly Ringwald type movies. That is here too. And what's great about this is it really takes the best elements from all of those movies and gives it to this incredibly talented gal, Angourie Rice, and I don't know if that's how you pronounce her first name. I've never heard it pronounced, but that's how I say it. But she was in The Nice Guys. That's, I think, where I first saw her, and I was like, this girl, at the time, she was like 14. She was funny. She was like scene stealing with real heavy hitters. I mean, that movie stars Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe, and she is like just stealing scenes from them. So she caught my eye immediately. So when I saw her in Spider-Man, I was like, okay, cool. I don't think they really give her a lot to do in the Spider-Man trilogy, but that's okay. It's not really about Spider-Man's, you know, friends, other than Ned, I guess, but it's about him and his girlfriend Zendaya, whatever. Okay. So, but she's in them and she's fine. They just don't give her enough to do. But here, I mean, this is, I think, a star-making turn, much like some of those other films I mentioned. You know, I think Election was probably not seen by as many people as it should be. So Legally Blonde really was the star-making turn for Reese Witherspoon. But I think Election is, if you talk to film critics or whatever, is their favorite performance, and it's definitely up there for me. And same with Molly Ringwald. She became obviously a star with these high school movies. And Lindsay Lohan was already kind of famous with the Disney stuff, but Mean Girls cemented her as somebody who can actually do more adult type comedies. And that's what this is. I think this is rated R. I think they drop a good amount of F-bombs in here, but she is here again, a scene stealing actress. She's so funny, and the script is so smart. It harkens back to those Hughes movies. I think John Hughes, we've established over the years, is a template for, these high school movies. The 80s movies he did with The Breakfast Club and Pretty in Pink and Ferris Bueller, I think gave us sort of the template that people still use today for what a high school movie can be and should be. And this is that movie. It is so great. There's a really cool twist at the end that I didn't see coming. It ticks all of those boxes. Now, because of some of the similarities to, specifically Election, I would say, I can't give it my highest grade, which is an A+, but I think it's right under there. It's easily one of the best movies I've seen this year. I highly, highly recommend this one. I leave Honor Society with an A. And it is worth noting as well that the Angourie Rice character is named Honor, so that's partially also where they sort of get Honor Society as a name from. But anyway, yeah. So from one of the best of the year to woefully disappointing in Secret Headquarters, and then Orphan kind of just can't be fun in the middle there. So all right, that's it. I will talk to you guys later on Dan Reviews It. Thanks for watching. Bye.